Hey everyone, it's Michael Burns with One Mic Out. It's been a minute since I've been on this thing. Uh, Man, I'll tell you what, this COVID crap, something's going around again. I've been out of work all week. I've been trying to, it's been up and down roller coaster. I don't know if I have it. I haven't taken the test because I'm not wasting the money on it anymore because what's the point? Might as well just let it run its course, but it's kind of been a bitch. And so, kind of just dealing with that thing. But, I just wanted to, talk about the man with the administration going on right now, and I hate talking politics. I truly do, because it seems like that's what just encompasses our worlds. Everyone is so consumed with it for some reason. There's such an allure. And there's such a draw to politics and the divisiveness of, you don't even know the person. It's just you call yourself this party or that party, and you ultimately, you end up hating the other party because you were told to hate them and to disagree with them, regardless of how great of a point they make, and how much you truly probably do believe what they're saying. You just can't go against your made up, fabricated allegiance to something that you can't even feel or touch, which is a political party. But the administration that's in power now, they're openly admitting, they're saying the quiet things out loud right now by sending a 500-page letter to news outlets telling them to scrutinize House Republicans for drawing up impeachment inquiries for the president. And the fact that they're sending these to news outlets, telling them heighten your scrutinization, your scrutinizing of a certain political party, and that right there tells you everything you need to know. Like, that's the admission right there, in my opinion. That's the biggest thing, in my opinion, the biggest announcement that has happened in this entire presidency, and not all the other stuff. I mean, you can look at all the crazy stuff that happened in Maui, and you can look at all the crazy stuff with with Ukraine and Hunter's laptop and all that. But everyone has a feeling. Everyone knows that's true. You can't discount your own inclinations and your own gut feeling. And I know facts are facts, and you got to have facts. But that doesn't. Everything starts off with what a suspicion, right? You suspect something's wrong. You sense something's off, and then you investigate. And that's normally what ends up happening. And that's kind of, what ended up happening. Everyone's kind of starting to look at the Hunter Biden thing going, yeah, okay. And then looking at the dealings, with the big man and whatnot, and everyone knows who that is and whatnot. And, okay, nothing's happening, nothing will happen. I believe the president will drop out due to health issues. He'll be forced out, and then Michelle, will take his spot, and then that'll set up this big, weird election season next year. But if you, the people, are worried about being lied to, and you're tired of paying high prices for food, for essentials, for fuel, for gas, and all that kind of stuff, and they're coming after ceiling fans now. Ceiling fans. They were going after gas burning stoves, and now they're going after ceiling fans. Ceiling fans. I swear on my life. When's enough for you? When is enough for you to finally go, this isn't right, man, and you start connecting all the dots. Well, was there election interference? I mean, that was a pretty big deal. The media told us, no, that was crazy, but in 2016, the Democrats were claiming that Trump stole that election and that was rigged, but that's no big deal. But when there was actual evidence and actual great suspicion that there was something going on in 2020, why did I turn a blind eye? Oh, the media told me to. Why did I do that? Well, because lemmings, because of indoctrination. But now you start to see this admission. Hey, hurry up, write this letter, get it out to the news agencies. They're trying to impeach him. Get them, they need to get back onto the agenda. This is a script they need to report and say, to the masses, to get it out. And they say it enough, maybe they'll believe it. The people will buy it up and eat it up and believe it. That is wrong on so many levels. Unethical. It's wrong. You don't, as an administration, a White House, tell the news how to report. Just like they at first they were saying, you had Mark Zuckerberg put, I think it was like $400 million, into for Democrats to be able to win the last election. And he was trying to say, oh no, we're unbiased. We don't go one way or the other, when clearly they do. And then when there was, the meddling of with the FBI contacting these social media platforms saying, hey, you need to fact check harder, you need to, shadow ban certain accounts and suppress certain accounts and this and that. And that ended up being true. And now you're getting the admission of a 500-page letter being sent out. What's 500 pages? Why does it have to be that many pages? Is one, that's weird. But two, telling these news agencies and outlets, hey, scrutinize Republicans in this impeachment, inquiry. Well, what are you so afraid of? Why would you send that letter out? If you haven't done that, and if Biden hasn't done anything wrong, who cares? Is it because they know the power of the media and they know that, hey, if they start reporting on this, it can start swaying people to believe that it's actually true? So they're using a counter to that, which is what they've been using this whole time, which is fake news and whatnot, and just getting these stories out there to get that first impression and that first shock reaction from the people, of, oh, I can't believe this happened, poor old man gets stabbed in street, put it this way, poor old Asian man gets stabbed in street by angry man, and then it turns out, oh, poor old man, Asian man in the street, was actually a pretty bad gangster dude who was, known for X, Y, and Z crimes and trying to attack this person, and this person was defending himself in self-defense and all blah, 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 and ends up not being so innocent. But that initial story, that initial headline of, poor old Asian dude gets attacked in street or dies in street or gets murdered in the street, and then it turns out that that wasn't the case. That initial headline is what grabs your attention and what sways you initially in a shock reaction. And if you can do that so close to an election, meaning if say the election is next week, or the election is in a couple weeks or something, and something comes out to sway you to hate on the other side or members of the other side or people or parties or groups of people who identify more with one political side than they do another, it's going to sway you or confirm more and give you more affirmation that you should vote the way that they've been telling you to vote the whole time, which is blue. If you can follow what I'm saying. It's that shock lie to get you to go, well, it's the news. They wouldn't lie to us, and then the truth comes out after the fact, just like the election. All right, so the damage had been done. Everyone had gone to the polls and voted and all that, and there was already, prior to, there was calls for, hey, this election might be a little rigged, a little suspicious, a suspect. By the time it was all said and done and Biden's in office, inaugurated on that January 20th, it's like, oh, well, even if there was, there's really nothing that we can do. If there was meddling, if there was, sorry, and then nothing happens. Again, another reason why I'm not a Republican anymore, because they're the party of talk and of inaction, and the Democrats are the party of frickin' idiotic speech. But there's so many idiots. There will always be more idiots than there are intellectuals. And there's so many idiots. That's the fear of them being able to run the world. And I'm sorry if you are a Democrat. If you're a Democrat, you should be ashamed of your party, because you're no longer middle ground where you should be. You're no longer the yesterday. Republicans of today are the Democrats of yesterday. And I'm not talking about the Civil War days where that whole flip-flop. I'm literally talking about 1990s Democrats are like Republicans of today for the most part. It wasn't too long ago that Biden and Hillary was coming out saying they were against gay marriage, and they were for traditional marriage values of a man and a woman. How long ago was that? And then you saw that flip-flop. Everything's for votes. That alone should tell you these scoundrels and these frickin' weasels, they're doing all of this just to remain in office, just to become millionaires. Right now they're finding that Biden, all the homes that he owns, however many, 13 or something like that, he could not have made on a senator's and at a vice president's and now a president's salary. He couldn't afford all of that. And he's saying he didn't do anything else outside of that. So they're like, okay, then how did you buy all this stuff? So that's what's coming to light. Those are the questions that they're asking right now. And those are the questions that they're finding all these dealings with Ukraine and Hunter and all that. I mean, come on, people. So that's just my rant, with all this going on. It's just the way of the world. And again, it goes back to me always saying that's why you need to have yours and your home and everything. You need to be prepared for, things going down, things not going the way that you want and things like that. Because your dollar is getting weaker. Your gallon of gas is getting more expensive. And the more that they're trying to tell you, then push you towards like electric EVs, electric vehicles and things like that, the more that makes you dependent off the system, because they can turn that off they can, turn the power off. Now, how are you going to charge your stuff? It's just, it doesn't give you as much autonomy, as you would have in a regular gas vehicle and things like that. They're trying to get you more connected. Hey, let's get them off gas stoves, make it electric. Why? Because we can turn off their electricity if their social credit score goes down, or if they didn't make this payment or that payment or whatever. If they get rid of that, that's all that stuff that you could use to help yourself off grid. They don't like, because they want you, everyone says these things, 15-minute cities or whatever, but they want you in that kind of realm to have that kind of control over you, because if they have that much control over you, they can indoctrinate you that much easier, and they can get block votes that much easier, and that just helps them retain power and have even more power over you. Like the New Mexican governor, suspending the Second Amendment, which is, you can't do that. Just because you spoke some words into a camera and said, I'm doing this, that's definitely not how the Constitution works. But you get enough idiots to believe that, they start following it. And, that's kind of how taxes are today, and was it 1913 is essentially when was it the Federal Reserve or whatnot? And then, in through the Depression, and after the Depression, when income tax kind of became a thing, it was only supposed to last a couple of years, and look where we're at today. Now you're getting taxed on everything. Every transaction, outgoing and incoming, is getting taxed. The same money over and over is getting taxed. So, you get taxed when you make it. You get taxed when you spend it. You get taxed when you want to pull it out of certain accounts. It's just insane. So what can we do as the people? There's really not a whole hell of a lot that we can do. I'm already at 12 minutes in this thing. There's really not a whole lot unless there was a collective group of people, an organized effort of people to finally stand up and say, hey, we're done. This is it. The Constitution does state, it does state in there, that you can, remove a tyrannical government, from power. But at what point do you do that? Because the Constitution, back when it was written, they couldn't have foreseen a country with 500,000 people in it almost. You get what I'm saying? So, they were talking, they were thinking in terms of thousands. So, it's kind of hard to get so many people on the same page to be like, all right, we need to get rid of a government. And if you remember the term too big to fail, why all these companies back in, how many years ago, '08, just after that, they're too big to fail. We got to bail all these companies out because they're just too big. That's kind of how the government is right now, where if, it were to be, all right, you're out. Okay. How do you take over that? How do you reestablish a new government? That's kind of, the thing, like, how would you do that without another country coming in and being like, oh, we'll help, and then they take over in that weakened point, in that weakened state. So it's a weird time to live in. It kind of sucks having to entrust, it kind of sucks having to entrust politicians, because that's, the term politician in my mind just means, a compulsive and habitual liar. Because on all sides, I'm talking even from DeSantis, Gates, I'm talking, Cruz, to the Democrats, I'm talking, from Schumer and Pelosi, all those crazies, all the crazy, they are all liars. They have all lied to get where they're at. There's some promise that they gave that they said they would do if you vote for me that they didn't do. And I'm telling you, all of them. Trump has lied multiple times. Look at the university that he had that failed, And I'm not saying these people are I'm not saying that they're all bad. They just found the loopholes to get what they wanted, and they knew the fools that they could play to get to where they wanted to be, and they played the system. There's just some people who understand certain parts of that system better. And there are some people out there, I think, like a Trump who, for as narcissistic as he is, to run for president, you have to be a narcissist anyway. So, you might as well have the best one out there if that's the case. And I believe that he is, in terms of just getting it done, getting something done, seeing something that's stupid. Hey, why are they doing? No, get rid of that. Like he actually got stuff done. He wasn't backed by any rhinos. He wasn't backed by any big corporations or anything like that. It could, would it have been nice if you had someone maybe with a temperament of DeSantis, but with the ability of Trump, and all the benefits of Trump, where, if he didn't have to be backed by these people because, he's backed by some shady corporations, and he's done some not fun, shady stuff. I love him as governor. I don't want him to be president. But anyway, the last person on the planet we ever wanted was Biden to be president, and shame on you Democrats for knowing that. And he was your best person that you could put up against Trump, and he lost, but it just is what it is right now. And you're seeing the reason why we knew he wouldn't be a good president, because everyone saw the mental decline. And a lot of people don't have pride in the country anymore. That's why they don't care about voting for a piece of shit like him, because they just wanted to beat the other guy because Trump bad man, media told me he bad man. But your food was cheaper, your fuel was cheaper, your housing was cheaper, everything was cheaper during those 4 Trump years than they've been during any time of Democrats in office, except for Clinton. I would say during the Clinton years in the 90s, he provided more tax breaks for small businesses up to that point than any other president, which was great. But the fact of the matter is why are tax breaks a thing? Why are we paying an income tax? Why are we paying so many taxes to begin with? And so that's the next question, which is why that should not be a thing. But anyway, I just wanted to throw this out there and get my thoughts out there. But anyway, this is Michael with One Mic Out. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to probably be in this weekend watching football from the couch, the bed, to try and get over this stupid, probably COVID crap. Anyway, yeah, y'all have a good day.